Welcome to pathology class. We'll continue. In the last video we discussed the identification of igneous rocks in hand specimen, and to continue that, the description of igneous rock in hand specimen should be written under following heads. First, the color. Now, color, you all know that your silicate minerals, they are divided into, that is the felsic and mafic. Felsic minerals, you all know, they don't have iron and magnesium in their composition, and hence they are colorless or white colored. Whereas your mafic minerals, they have iron, magnesium, and they are dark colored minerals. So the first point that we write in the description of hand specimen is the color. So from color we can make it out that which part, whether the felsic are more or dominating, or your mafics are there. So color means we divide on the basis of percent of dark minerals a rock into four categories. You all know, that is leucocratic, mesocratic, melanocratic and hypermelanic. Leucocratic are those which have 0 to 30% dark minerals, means more than 70% are your felsic minerals, means they are light colored rocks. Second category is mesocratic, means 30 to 60% are your dark minerals, that is your mafic minerals. So you can say in simple that rock is composed of 50% almost mafic minerals and 50% of your felsic minerals. So we can just categorize broadly the rock, either it should be from your diorite to your gabbro. And third category is your melanocratic, means 60 to 90% are your dark minerals, means more than, you can say 60% your are the dark minerals, means dark minerals are dominating. So naturally that rock is going to be mafic to ultra mafic. And the last is the hypermelanic, means which have more than 90% mafic. That rock will appear totally of black, or you can say of dark minerals. There will be absence or almost very light few spots of the light colored or of the felsic minerals. So this first point that we have to write about the description of, that is the color. The second is the texture, because texture, you know, that is an important, it tells about the crystallization or cooling history of the rock. So texture, if it is a coarse grained, naturally the rock is plutonic. If it is, say, your fine grained or glassy, the rock is your volcanic. So, and in addition to that, what other textural terms that are used, that is whether the grains are of equal size, equigranular or inequigranular, then shape is subhedral, euhedral, anhedral. Are the grains of equal, then the mutual relationship that are noticed. So the second point of description of hand specimen is the texture. So you write two sentences or say at least two lines about the texture of the rock. So from that we can make it out that rock is whether the plutonic or volcanic, so that can also reflect to its genesis. And the third is the mineral composition. The mineral composition, you know, the minerals, they are classified on number of bases. Here for point of view, for the description of your hand specimen, we classify into three categories, that is the essential minerals, accessory minerals, and the third your secondary minerals. Essential and accessory together, they are called primary minerals because they are formed at the time of formation of the rocks. Whereas the secondary minerals, they have been transformed from the primary minerals when they were exposed for millions of years in the nature. So the identification, or the, you can say, the nomenclature is on the basis of essential mineral, because accessory minerals, they are present in less than 5%, though they were formed at the time of formation of the rock with your essential minerals. But their contribution, or say their presence, is negligible, so that we don't take into account into the nomenclature. So that is, then the mineral composition means the third point that you have to describe about the hand specimen is the mineral composition. Now you all know that a rock is named on the basis of the texture and mineral composition. So your fourth point to describe hand specimen is your name. Means on the basis of texture and mineral composition, the given rock in hand specimen may be. This should be your style of writing, because this is scientific writing. because after hand specimen study we go for thin section study and then the chemical analysis, and then only then we can finally say with certainty the exact name or the precise name of the rock. But in hand specimen, because this is the first, or you can say the elementary step, so you will write that on the basis of texture and the mineral composition the given rock in hand specimen may be. This is the fourth. And the fifth point that you have to write about the genesis. 3 to 4 lines regarding the genesis of the rock. Genesis, for example, you identify the rock is leucocritic, say in the color, the texture is your say epidiomorphic or granitic, the mineral composition you identified as quartz and orthoclase. So naturally on this basis the name will be your granite. Now once you say granite, the genesis of the granite, you all know that it is formed under slow cooling conditions at depth. So you will write in genesis the rock has formed by slow cooling at depth and hence resulted into coarse grain size crystals. In addition to it, you can write, if you see some other features into it, if there are phenocrysts, you can mention that also, that at least the rock has crystallized at two sites of crystallization, one at which large crystals called phenocryst developed. Later on these phenocryst along with the liquid were uplifted and the remaining liquid crystallized as relatively finer. So in such a style you have to write the genesis of the rock. So these 5 points are necessary to describe or to write the description of a rock in hand specimen. I repeat: color first, texture second, mineral composition third, and then the name fourth, and finally the genesis. This should be your, you can say, habit of describing a rock in hand specimen. Now in my last video we just discussed very few basic igneous rocks, that is your granite, gabbro, basalt, right? Now today we will, from the table you just make it out that we have given the first column is about the your say color, then the texture, then the mineral composition and the rock names. So because there is a systematic approach in the identification, you can also go by sometimes by rejection method, sometimes by the selection method. Once you say the rock is coarse grained, so you forget about the name of the volcanic rocks. So this is the rejection method, means you need not think of your names of volcanic rocks. It is some or the other the plutonic rock. So it is, if it is coarse grained, naturally it is a plutonic rock. Now amongst the plutonic, then you go for the mineral composition. Suppose you identify as quartz and orthoclase, you forget because it doesn't bear pyroxenes, so it cannot be your gabbro or such rock. So the confusion can be only on the limited. Either it can be granite or granodiorite. Then further you identify whether the feldspar is your orthoclase or plagioclase. If you are sure it is orthoclase, forget about, reject the granodiorite, it is granite. So you should follow the both paths by selection and rejection method in hand specimen, because once you identify certain, you say texture, actually the rocks which do not have such textures, they cannot be the names of the rocks, so we cannot think of that, we should not think of those. Similarly by the mineral composition also. So there can be, we can reach to the kindred, very nearby names, or you can say the a group of rocks in there. So if in this table you can make it out, we have given it coarse grain and fine grain and the mineral composition, right? And you can just read this table and can yourself understand the names of the different igneous rocks and how to write their description in your exams or in your practical files. Particularly for the UG students, it is, you should be very logical. You may be wrong, that doesn't matter, but you should be logical, you should be scientific in description. Because just what is the habit? Just you pick and you try to name. Don't try to name the rock first. You try to just write the color, think of the color. If it is light colored, then think of the rocks which are light colored. If it is coarse grained, think of the rocks which are plutonic or light colored plutonic rocks. Then the mineral composition, if you say the felsic minerals are dominant, try to remember the names of the rocks which are light colored plutonic, and then ultimately you try to give a name to that rock. This is the logical, you can say, the description or the style of describing an igneous rocks. In my next video, we'll try to describe, or you can try to identify the rocks in thin section. This is all for today. Thank you very much. Thank you.